Hi, in this video we're going to be taking a look at functions and graphs, and actually most of your learning is going to happen in the Desmos activities in this section, and so just really want to encourage you to just kind of build on what you already know, and then just kind of some guess and check, trial and error, thinking deeply about the activities that you're going to be working with and the feedback you'll get. So we're going to look at how we can look at functions and graphs. So why do we use graphs? You could pause it and think that through a bit. Probably the main reason I would say we use graphs is to combine a lot of information in one place in a way that's easy for us to see what's going on. So if you look here, I've made a little graph. It's hypothetical, but here's the temperature at Olivet. It started out at 60 degrees at 6 in the morning, and we can see noon, 6 o'clock in the evening. We see the temperature here. And so what is happening here? Well, without giving you a ton of numbers or a long description, probably many of you are saying, well, it started out at 60 degrees, and then they warmed up here at whatever time this was a little bit, and then it's kind of slowly warming up. We got to tell about this time. What is that, 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon? And then it starts to cool down a little bit, and then maybe a storm front came in or something, but the temperature really dropped here. Now you could say, well, we don't really know what's going on. We don't have any labels here, and you're right. That would make it even more helpful. But you can really get an idea of what kind of day it was. Now, if I gave you another graph, and I said, okay, it starts out up here. Let's say this is 70 degrees, and it goes like this. That's a very different day, isn't it? You could see that here it warmed up just a little bit, but then the temperature really dropped. Now, if this is 0 degrees, we really, really dropped. But again, a lot of information. What is the meaning of the points on the graph? If you take a look at the graph and you think about a point like this right here, what does this point mean? It really connects two pieces of information. It connects the time with the degree or the temperature. So at 6 in the morning, it was 70 degrees. Now, I don't have a lot of labels on here, but you can imagine if I looked at this point, well, it's a little bit later. Maybe it's 6:05 or 6:10. It doesn't matter. But at that time, it's giving me another temperature. It's also at 70 degrees. And then here, I don't know, let's actually drop in some more times. Halfway between 6 and noon would be 9 a.m. And then you get the idea. At 9 a.m. we have a temperature, maybe this is 73 degrees. At noon we have a temperature here of maybe 60 degrees. At 3 p.m. we have a temperature, let's say that this is 0. We have a temperature here of 30 degrees. And so you can see how each point is connecting time and temperature. Every single point on this graph tells me a time and a temperature. And as you work through the next activities, I'd encourage you to keep that in mind and think, okay, if I'm making a graph and I'm looking at time and height, well, at this time, what is the height? The height is right here. All right, so at this time, what is the height? The height is right here, whatever this is. And that is going to be useful for you. So that is kind of the intro here to functions and graphs. Functions are really a special type of graph, but I'm not going to get into that in this video. The two activities you're going to complete, one is just called mini golf marble slides. And this is really just working with X and Y coordinates and adjusting and thinking about if I want a line to go from here to here, what are the X coordinates here? What are the Y coordinates? And it actually gives it to you in table format. And so you're really just changing those X and Y coordinates to play mini golf is really what's going on. And then the second activity is Function Carnival, and there's really some great things happening here. It might take you a little bit to get into it and understand how the interface works, how the play button and the graph works, and what you're drawing. But really encourage you to spend some time with it. If you're confused or need some extra help, feel free to reach out to me. I'd be glad to do that. So